Is this no?
Pass.
Yeah, against a good football team like this, we went into the week talking about how small the margin of error is, and to come out and spot them 21 before the band even gets in their seats, you don't give yourself a chance. You're fighting out of the corner for the whole game. I thought some of our warts got exposed today, some of our deficiencies and weaknesses, and they took advantage of them. And certainly the first and biggest thumb goes back to me. Myself and our coaches got to make sure that we're putting the kids in position to be successful with the calls. And when we do, and there are plenty of them, we got to make sure that we're out there making plays. So, too many penalties. I think we won the turnover battle, didn't win third down, didn't win red zone, and certainly didn't win the explosive play battle. And when those things happen against a team like Auburn, you're not going to win the football game, and that's what happened. So we were 0-1 this week. We're going to learn from it. We're going to correct it. Head in the bye week, move on, and look to be 1-0 next week against Tennessee. Questions?
Questions? We'll start with Ben.
Coach, with Bo Nix, obviously he was able to get a lot done on the ground and through the air. What just made him so difficult tonight, and maybe what were you seeing from the defense that maybe didn't work?
He's obviously a coach's son, very poised and polished, and well coached for a true freshman, mid-year enrollee, and competed with his arms and his legs, and he demonstrated that tonight. And he's got time back there, patting the ball, counting Mississippi's, and got guys running down the field. We got to make sure we're doing a good job across the board. And the kid's a good player, and he's going to be very, very good in the future too.
Steve, then Tyler.
Coach, kind of a nightmare sequence that first drive, a delay of game, the first play of the game, and then on the punt. Yeah. I mean, what were you seeing there? What kind of happened to break down there?
I thought the clock was getting run when we were coming off the sideline early, but that's just me. So we had the delay game. We took the sack, and then you punt, you give them field position at the 30, and they get one run play, and it's not ideal. And then the next drive, we have third down and whatever, and we have a little dig route coming from the backside. We catching it, it's a conversion, and the ball gets dropped. So that leads right to points, and kind of snowballed from there. Yeah, so certainly against this team, you can't spot them 21 right off the bat. Less than ideal.
Tyler.
Two of your most veteran defensive players, Arrow and CJ, get flagged for late hits. I mean, how does something like that happen, and what can you do to prevent things from like that happening in the future?
Yeah, we talk about poise and composure and discipline. I think we've exhibited that pretty well leading up into this game, and we had too many of them, and I got one myself. I'll talk about that later if you want. But we can't do things like that, and I think I'm not going to comment. We just got to make sure we're holding our pose and composure, and we can't have unsportsmanlike conduct penalties.
Steve.
Coach, there's been kind of a consistent theme with special teams against some breakdowns. What are you seeing from that unit right now?
Yeah, we missed the field goal, right? Outside of that, what do you think? What were the other issues on?
But there's some punt issues and some coverage issues that appear.
We got to look at all that stuff and get it corrected. Make sure that we're punting the ball correctly, and make sure we're getting down there and covering down. I think they had a couple returns. But yeah, we got to make sure all that stuff. It's third of the game. We talk about winning the hidden yardage battle and doing those things, and we got to be better.
Logan.
Any update on Tommy, and how do you think Garrett played in his coming off the bench again?
On Tommy, he got a lower body, which is what kept him out of the rest of the game, and just dinged up the upper body a little bit. But I think you're really seeing the potential in the promise of Schrader. 16 for 112. Lossum had 89 rushing and a touchdown, and threw for 209 and 2 touchdowns. Against one of the top defenses in the country, going in relief. I think the kid's got an unbelievable future. I think he played a solid game. Once again, he made a couple freshman mistakes there down on the goal line, not tucking it high and tight. Overthrew a couple guys who were dropped out of a helicopter, screaming open down the field. But that's going to happen sometimes with freshmen. But I think his game and his performance, is something for people to look forward to, because the kid's going to be a special player.
Joel.
It's obviously something that you probably couldn't answer in any kind of definitive fashion tonight, but with as well as Garrett has played against a fully healthy Tommy, is there any scenario where Garrett could be the future this year and be a starter even with a healthy Tommy on the roster?
Yeah, we got a bye week, so we'll get the injury report tomorrow and see how Tommy's feeling, and then use the bye week to do the first whole day. Monday's devoted to self-scout, seeing what we're doing and how teams are defending us and how teams are attacking us in special teams. And then Tuesday and Wednesday, we're going to do UT prep, and then Thursday we get the road recruiting. So all those things and everything we're doing from a program standpoint will be evaluated this week.
Garrett, and then Ben.
Joe, the way this game went early, is this a game that you figuratively just burn the tape and move on?
No, I don't think so. I think there's always things you can learn off of, and it's hard to say on a 56-23 loss. So obviously there's a lot of negatives and things we need to improve as players and coaches. But you look at some of the individual performances, you look at some of the positive things. There's going to be plenty to build off of. So everything's a learning experience. So whether you win or you lose, you're going to find things that you need to continue to do well and find things that you need to fix. And we said it last week. You wouldn't accept a defeat, you can't accept a victory. So we can't let like I said, the cologne of victory cover up the stench of inefficiency. So we got to make sure that the things that we aren't doing well from this tape, we got to learn off of it and fix, and continue to build off the things we did well. And then there were some positives.
Ben.
Joe with Garrett, I know obviously it was cliche fight till the final whistle, but he goes and leaves that touchdown drive to close out the game. I mean, how much does that show for a guy to he Javante on the 30-yarder and then runs it in? I mean, he's a guy that has a lot of heart and all that, but what does that show about a kid like that, leading the drive sort of in a game that's...
Kind of the initial thing heading into it is we needed to withstand the initial onslaught, because we knew with I asked the guys in the team meeting last night how many it'll be their first time here at Auburn, and 3/4 of the hands in the room went up with the coaching staff, so we knew there was going to be a little bit of that emotional component. Certainly it played out how you don't want it to play out. We got down and we fought and scratched and clawed and had a chance to pull within 34-17 at the half when we turned that ball over. And we came in at halftime and said, hey, we ain't looking at the score. What I want to see is us to maintain composure. I want us to compete for 30 more minutes. And I think we did that down to the last whistle.
Logan.
No moral victories though.
You had the big play right before halftime with Farad down to the goal line. You lined up in the shotgun. DP gets the false start,
Yeah.
Then you had the fumble. Just how deflating was that sequence at that point in time?
I think it was, because I thought it looked like he was in. Two, so I think there should have been a play. Then you had the false start, and that moved it back from the 1-inch line to the 6. And on that play, when you look kind of how it occurred, Garrett was slicing through there for the touchdown, and we called another read run, and they made a play. And then you look off of that, we stopped them three and out with a timeout to get the ball back at the 50 with a chance to go again. Had the dang target foul, so that was a sequence right there where you should have had 7. And then you have a chance to get some more at the half with a good defensive stop, and you give it a friggin' extra set of downs.
Brian.
You sort of hit on it a minute ago. The penalty that was called on you, what happened?
What happened on the penalty on me? Mm-hmm. Well, I saw what happened right in front of my face, and felt it was a target, and didn't see the flag thrown, and asked. Didn't say anything to anyone personally. I asked, "Where's the flag?" And apparently he didn't like how I asked the delivery of it. So I'm guessing there aren't many other coaches in the league that will get called on with that language, but that's just me.
Steve.
Coach, not to get you...
You got to stand up for your players. So I didn't see that flag come out on something where I thought they targeted our quarterback. Didn't see the flag come out. I'm going to ask the question. I'm going to ask it the way it needs to be asked. And there was a flag, there was a flag. So we'll deal with it, and we'll talk to the league about it this week coming up.
What explanation did you get on the targeting call on Errol, or did they offer
That
one?
with the crown was helmet.
Tyler.
You mentioned the term snowballing there at the beginning, and we already touched on it a little bit, but from them scoring on the first play from scrimmage and Javante fumbling that, the kickoff.
That's probably the other special teams that you talked about.
What anything differently you could have done on the sideline, or is that just all things happening on the field that are out of your control?
Like in what way?
Just it seemed like you snapped your fingers and you're down 21-0. Was there anything you could have done even before the game, preparation-wise, I don't know, to sort of prevent it from being 21-0 6 minutes into the game?
I mean, that's how the game of football's played. I mean, there's ups and downs and ebbs and flows, and you kind of went through and detailed the drives of how it happened, and it's on all of us. So I got to be better. We got to be better.
All right, Joel, and then we got players.
Are you thankful it's a bye week coming up? Are you glad it's a bye week, or would you rather just have a game on Saturday to try and rinse it out of your mouth, or is it good to have a couple of weeks to try and
No, it's
put
good.
this
I think
in
we're a little bit banged up across the board. I think we got some injuries, some bumps and bruises we need to heal up. I think we need to evaluate our personnel. I think there's a bunch of young guys playing very, very well. See where we're at. And, get them some reps along with the older guys, you know, during the bye week to get them work. And then kind of, you know, start attacking Tennessee the following Sunday with the guys we feel give us the best opportunity to win from a performance standpoint and attitude and leadership standpoint. So we're going to keep pressing forward, and the culture and the leadership and the direction of this program is still positive. I know we got our tails whipped tonight. It happened. That's a good team, and you know, credit where it's due. But I like the fight of this team. I like the composition of it. We just got to. I said, I mean, we knew it coming in. We're going to have to fight and scratch and claw. We didn't do enough in a small margin of error game, and you know these kids are fighting, and we're going to get it right.
All right.